Olivier Fleury, welcome to Voice of the Vatican. We're so happy to have you here today.
Thank you, Ashley.
Olivier, you are, of course, the National Director of Youth with a Mission, and you're the founder of Jesus Celebration 2033. You know, here we are all living in the 21st century and blessed to be celebrating these milestones of Christ's life 2,000 years after they have occurred.
You're right.
What is Jesus Celebration 2033?
Oh, in a nutshell, it is the celebration of the 2,000 years of the resurrection. Death, but certainly the resurrection.
Fantastic. And how do you envision that this ought to be celebrated?
Let me say, I'm not sure. What I want is the Christian to be so happy to celebrate the resurrection, which is the cornerstone of our faith. As St. Paul said, if resurrection will be taken off of our beliefs, then our whole faith will be nil, zero. So resurrection, it is what we want to celebrate.
Now, how did this come to be? I know that this is developed from a personal vision, an idea that you've had. Where did it come from?
Well, of course, it's a long story. It's a life story. It started 10 years ago, almost, in Sydney, Australia, where I was there with my family, wife and kids. And I attended a chapel service, and there I had an open sky experience. I don't know how to explain that, but for several hours I was in the presence of my Savior, and it was just delightful. It was just fantastic. And there I had a vivid vision in front of my eyes, like a little movie of the earth, and I saw the sun coming on the shadow of the earth. The new day started, and as soon as the light hit some time zone, I saw explosion of light coming from the earth to the sky, and it was so marvelous. I sit back and I thought, oh, what is that, you know? And then I had another little, very quick vision of a crowd, and they were from every age, every tribe, every language, and I knew every church. And I said, Lord, what is that? And I think in my heart, I knew that it was all the churches together celebrating 2,000 years of the resurrection.
That's an incredible thought. Now, we already celebrate Easter, though, every year. Why is it necessary to do this?
Okay, well, the 2000th anniversary is a milestone. So we should take advantage of that. And unity that we would love to have everywhere, because it is not just a celebration in Rome or in Jerusalem or in Geneva or in New York. It will be everywhere. Every country of the earth, I would love and pray for them to celebrate the resurrection. So the truth is, the how, I'm not sure exactly. Don't you think it will be a bit different in Togo than in Tonga, or in New York than in Tokyo? So I think we just need to give them some value, some DNA, and then we will let them decide how they want to do that. But one of the ingredients that is very key is unity. Let's do it together. And unity is not an end. It's not what we need to have at the final stage. Unity is only a door to celebrate and to make Jesus known. That is my passion, making Jesus known to the world.
Well, what a beautiful mission and passion to have, Olivier. And you mentioned the DNA of Jesus Celebration. Now, I know that there are pillars that the celebration is built upon.
Right.
Would you tell us more about that?
Okay, let's have all the finger of one hand. It's simple like that. I think the first one is prayer. Nothing starts really if we don't pray. That is the foundation of everything. So
yes.
I ask everyone to pray for that, in order for us to have the inspiration, but also the protection and the favor of God to start it. Prayer. Secondly, unity. As you know, unity is the key. I'm starting and trying to meet all the head of every churches and mission movement and parachurch movement in order to try to say, hey, let's be together for the 2000th anniversary of the resurrection. So unity. And then sharing the gospel. When Jesus left the earth, he said, be my witness in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and the end of the earth. I think that is our mission. You don't need to be a priest, a pastor, or a missionary, a man or woman. that's for everyone. We need to be a witness to what God has done in our own life, and that is the resurrection power. And fourthly, that will be celebration. I would love us to come out of our churches in a way we do celebration, a bit of religiosity sometimes that we have. And I want something like the Youth Day, something youthful, colorful, a bit chaotic sometimes, but fantastic. That the world say, what do they have, those Christians, that I don't have? And that is Jesus in me. And the last thing, and that is absolutely in tune with this Jubilee year, it is love in action. As Christians, we need to demonstrate our love to the non-believer and to the believer in practical ways. So that's the 5 pillars of what we believe could be implemented everywhere in Rio and in Sydney and in Copenhagen. If we have those 5 things, that will be Jesus celebration.
So what is your plan for how to mobilize people toward living out those 5 pillars and toward creating a celebration in their own corner of the world?
Yeah, so first of all, I do travel extensively those days. I've been the last 6 years now, I've been going around the earth 10 times, cumulative with all the travel I've done. And I really try to meet with head of churches. I've met with the Cardinal Koch, who is in charge of unity here at the Vatican, and I've met the World Evangelical Alliance, I've met the WCC, World Council of Churches, and several other missions and church movement. So that's one thing. I try to build the awareness. And on the other side, I'll try also to experiment. What could we do on Easter morning that will be a witness to the world? So we have done Easter morning dawn celebration following with a breakfast, for instance, in the nature, by the lake, for instance. Or we are working towards seeing how we can do like parades, like Rio de Janeiro festival, but Christian way and a bit with more clothes, but to see the beauty of art, the beauty of joy that we have when we are saved through Jesus, His cross, and the act of the resurrection. So we try different stuff in order to maybe do a manual and give to everyone to say, pick and choose, do whatever, but what we want is something joyful, something lively, colorful, maybe loud in some area, but to present the beauty of the risen one.
Well, we certainly have a lot to celebrate, don't we?
Absolutely.
Yes. Olivier, I know that you are doing some work at the Vatican Archives right here in Rome.
You're right.
Would you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've been advised by a priest here who worked for the State of Affairs, and he said to us, well, you need to research about 1933. There was a Jubilee year about the redemption. And so we have asked the archive if we can have a look at that. And they said yes, and we're gonna go tomorrow, God willing. They also told us that there has been a 1950 anniversary Jubilee year of the redemption, of the resurrection. So we're gonna go to the archive to have a look what the Catholic Church have done already for 2 reasons. One is to come back to the present Catholic authority and tell them, you have done it before, so why don't you do it for the 2000th anniversary? But also to go to the other churches, the Reformed Church, the Evangelical Church, the Apostolic Church, whatever, and tell them, look, the Catholics have done something. First of all, we could learn from them, but also, certainly they're going to do something for the 2000th anniversary, and we need to start our plan already. So a bit of a challenge to every churches to keep up and do something for the 2000th anniversary.
Indeed. And for our viewers, if they'd like some information on how they would start a celebration in their corner of the world, or how they could find out more about Jesus Celebration 2033, what can they do?
Yeah, we have a website that is already in 8 languages. It's the www.jc 2033.world. We just found out that we could have .world, so that is absolutely
Might as
great.
well.
Yeah. So that's a first meeting point. There is a video that you could see on it, a 1-minute video and a 5-minute where I explain the DNA on it. But there is also a book that I've been able to write with some help, Jesus Celebration 2033, where I explain how I received this vision and also how the Lord confirmed around the world. So if you read this book, you're going to travel in South America, in Africa, in Asia, in Australia, and in the States with me.
Fantastic. It sounds like quite an adventure.
It is.
Wow.
It is.
And so this is your personal story of the growth of the idea of Jesus
right.
Celebration 2033.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm sure our viewers will be very interested in reading more. Olivier, now, how do you envision the arts and the media playing a role in Jesus Celebration 2033?
Yeah. We are, as human beings, made with some artistic expression that is absolutely fascinating through the age and through the continent and the tribe. Every single tribe have their own way to celebrate, their own way to producing art, music, and sometimes carving or painting or whatever, you name it. And we don't want to miss that. We don't want to have an event that dilutes everything with a McDonald's type of celebration.
Sure.
We want everyone to bring their own way to celebrate Jesus, their own way to do music, to do painting or any sort of arts, but also the new arts like visual arts, like TV, like a movie. And we dream with some friends to produce a movie about the resurrection, but I'm not sure I'm able to say much more about that today.
Well, we will certainly keep our eyes on that. And of course, the arts supply us all with such an incredible way to express our praises for God.
Absolutely.
So it's such an important piece of this. Olivier, as we approach 2033, we will certainly be joining you in prayer. And we thank you so much for being with us here today, the founder of Jesus Celebration 2033, Olivier Fleury. God bless you. Thank you for being with Voice of the Vatican.
Thank you so much, Ashley.